I'm going to steal Adam's line. Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery, and this is Hump Day Hangouts episode, I believe, 178. Hard to believe. Anyways, hi. It's sunny and warm in Virginia finally. Well, it's getting there, and I'm glad for that. We've got Hernan and Marco on. We're not going to ask Marco about the weather because I'm tired of hearing about it. But how are you doing, Hernan?
Good, man. It's good to be here. Excited for what's coming. It's kind of, I think there's going to be a big storm here in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, rather. So it's good. It's good to be here.
Awesome. Marco, how are you doing, man?
Investigating how to rank in Google Mo better.
Mo better. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, we've got a few things we're going to tease you with this morning because you know how we like to do that. So we're going to do, or today, excuse me, we're going to tease you with a couple things. I guess I'll hand it over to you first, Hernan, because you wanted to talk about the updated Battle Plan V2.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, one of the usual announcements that we do is that we tell you guys to go get the Battle Plan because that's like step number one if you're new to Semantic Mastery. But for the first time in a couple of months, I would say, probably a year, I would say to hold off, to not do that because we're actually revamping it. We're rewriting it. There's a lot of it in it that still works, like the charm. So you could totally get it now and apply it today, and you will get a lot of good stuff, good results. But we have, tweaked some stuff and tweaked some orders of different things, to reflect better what are the changes that we have been finding out and whatnot. So we're still reviewing it. There's going to be probably another 2 weeks before we launch it or something like that. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's gonna be as usual, a launch price as a no-brainer. So stay in touch, stay tuned because it's gonna be really, really good.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. We're looking forward to launching that because obviously within a year, stuff has changed. We've added some new things to our standard operating procedure, like press releases, for example. So all that kind of stuff is in the new Battle Plan, guys. Also, next month in May, we're going to be actually launching another product called Local GMB Pro, which is going to be fabulous because Marco and Rob are back at it again. They've been in the lab testing, basically getting results for clients or their own assets, whatever, entirely 100% within the GMB dashboard. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to what's going on inside of the GMB dashboard, but a lot of changes have occurred in just the recent weeks and months and weeks. For example, like services tabs are now starting to show up to where you can add products and services and pricing and description of them and all that kind of stuff. There's the messaging tab. There's all these things that you can do now in there, like the GMB websites, which I was playing with today, which is freaking fabulous. The GMB posts, like all this stuff that Google's giving us that are free tools to use inside the GMB dashboard. And what Rob and Marco have been finding out is by using those tools and doing everything that Google gives to us, taking advantage of everything that Google gives to us inside that dashboard, that they're able to generate some incredible results that has absolutely nothing to do with ranking or traditional SEO. It's like all that shit that we've filled our heads with over the last many years, guys, forget about all of it because it can be done 100% inside of GMB without needing to know all that stuff. And it's amazing because Marco and Robert started telling me about the process and they, started developing a process doc and all that. And they shared it with me, and I had landed a client just a few weeks ago. It was a referral for a company that is really outside of my industry target usually, but I took them on anyways. And I said, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to apply this new GMB training that or method that Marco and Rob are putting together or developing for this project. And so I just started working on that and developing and I'm recording the entire build, and that's part of that's my contribution to the Local GMB Pro course is recording a case study. And I'm learning this for the first time too. Like I'm literally learning what Rob and Marco are teaching me and then going and applying it for the first time in this case study. So you guys are seeing me make mistakes, or you guys will be, those of you that purchase the course will be seeing me make mistakes and kind of fumble my way through stuff, which I think is a hell of a lot more genuine and more useful. Personally, as a student of many internet marketing products myself, usually when you see the polished, finished product, it's usually just all the stuff that worked well, right? And so But a lot of the times, if you run into an issue like a challenge or a roadblock or something that's not covered in the training, then it can literally stop your progress dead in its tracks. I know what's happened to me many times because I've run into something that wasn't addressed in the training, because the training only shows everything that works. So I like this style of training in that I'm learning it as I'm recording the case study videos, so that you guys can see like mistakes and how I correct them and how I find, work around stuff. Anyways, that all said, what's amazing is I got a call from the client yesterday, or might have been 2 days ago now. And he was like, he's funny, but the way he talks, he's like, yo, bro, I got so many calls over the weekend from the maps listing. And I don't even see it ranked. And I don't know how I'm getting the calls, but they're coming through. And so I went and looked at the GMB Insights data, which is like analytics inside the GMB dashboard. And you can absolutely see how much traffic his brand new GMB listing has already received. You can see phone calls, the clicks to driving directions, all that kind of stuff. And it's amazing because he's not ranked at all, like anywhere. It's a brand new listing, guys. Yet just because I'm in there optimizing the way that Marco and Rob are teaching me and utilizing all the products that GMB gives us, he's already generating leads from this listing that under normal SEO standards, I wouldn't be generating leads with this listing for at least a month, right? Long enough to get everything built out, submit a press release, syndication network, drive stack, all the stuff that we typically do. Not doing any of that. This is all 100% done inside the GMB dashboard so far. And so I'll let Marco talk on that for just a minute. I'm going to grab the screen and just show you guys a quick, like I said, I was going to tease you, but a quick peek inside the site. This is the back end of our membership sites, where I've got lessons that I've been uploading. And you can see, look at this, guys. I've got already 16 lessons added to this new training that we're launching next month. And this is just for this one case study. And I haven't even scratched the surface, man. I'm just getting started. So this is going to be one hell of a training course, guys, that will literally save you a ton of money and a ton of time, because you can get results like almost overnight for clients just inside of GMB. Guys, you don't even need a website for this, which is insane. So Marco, go ahead and chat about that for a little bit.
What I wanted you to tell them also is when was the map finally verified?
Well, it was verified about 2 weeks ago, or no, about 3 weeks ago, but there was a strange trouble with it. There was a duplicate listing that was trumping.
Yeah, but I mean, when did everything get corrected? And
Thursday.
Last Thursday.
Thursday last week, so less than a week ago.
And then during that time, you can already see results.
Yeah, over the weekend, this past weekend, he said he received, I think, 6 or 8 calls or something like that. And if you go look, it shows 8 calls. It only shows 4 from the weekend and 4 calls prior to that weekend. So I'm not sure how those other 4 calls got there. But he said he got 6 or 8 calls, something like that, over the weekend. And the insights are showing it.
Well, here's the deal. Those will only register the click to call. Right? From their cell phone, when they click the phone and call the company directly, they won't register like when they see the listing
and call from there
and call.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, the results are there, and they're undeniable. Number one, from insights, and just from the client being so excited or sometimes so overwhelmed that they say, I have so many calls. What the hell do I do? What am I supposed to do? I wasn't the experience that I've had. And now we're going on the 3rd month, and I'm going to raise my rates again for the 3rd or 4th month. I just got, dude, 600% traffic. Traffic went up 600%.
Wow.
From the insights that we got. This is month to month. So from last month to this month, and it's incredible. The number of number one, it shows visits, organic visits, and it shows what happens with the GMB. So everything is right there, and and like my thing for years and years has always been, I never guarantee rankings, because I know that Google is a fickle mistress, right? I know that Google will do whatever it wants to do, but I've always said I will either get you results or you leave. I put it that's my pitch. If you boil it all down, my pitch is, dude, I'm gonna make you money. If I don't, then you don't have to pay me anymore. You can just walk away. No contracts, no nothing. And this is a way to make sure that you'll be able to come through with that guarantee that you're giving your client of making your client money. So I think this is just, I don't know, just another way that we found of like exploiting Google's love for itself.
Yeah. And what's great about it, guys, is like I said, the training is going to be entirely about how to use just GMB assets, and that's it. Obviously, you can incorporate other stuff, other traditional SEO and local SEO stuff that we also know works, right? So, for example, syndication networks help validate the entity, drive stats, press releases, all that stuff. But the goal with the GMB Pro course is to teach you how to get results strictly in the GMB environment. And if you want to add the other stuff, it's only going to make you help you to get results faster and maintain them for longer, you know, whatever, even, and so far I don't have a history of knowing like if I got to continue that activity or what for this, because this is new to me too. But my point is, even in really competitive stuff, you'll be able to get results because you'll be doing stuff that's generating activity that is completely independent of rankings. That's my point. Like, it's amazing because, and again, I was telling Marco, I'm curious as to how, what I think is going on is that people that are in a particular area, remember this is all local stuff, right? So people that are in an area that Google knows your history. If you've got a Google account and you're tied to your phone, Google knows where you are at all times. They know what stores you like, what kind of searches you do. They know everything about you. And so even though the rank trackers might not show the listings as ranking and maps because there's some random IP, it might even be a localized IP, but it has no like search history, that kind of stuff. It's no profile attached to it. Whereas somebody that's in that area does have a profile that's got an accrued search history. They might be in market for a particular service. And so Google knows all of this. And so Google is displaying these localized results to those people that it's most relevant to them, if that makes sense. Whereas a rank tracker, it's not going to see that that's not going to see that kind of a search result. And I'm thinking that that's what it is, because Google for years has been talking about localizing and personalizing search results as much as possible. And the technology is there now that they can do it. So you and I, or those of us that are looking at it remotely, aren't going to see the same data that somebody is that is actually searching from, locally, especially like from a mobile device, which is where like more than 2/3 of all search traffic goes through mobile devices now, right? So think about that, guys. Just really super powerful. I'm excited about it. I'm actually really excited about it. And I'm looking forward to launching this course next month. All right, guys, I think we got enough pitching.
Yeah.
Questions now. What do you think?
Yeah, it's good.
All right,
Sam's up. Sam Bailey.
Let me grab the screen.
Sam the man.
Okay, Sam, what's up, buddy? He says, question about the site structure. I'm using virtual silo structure. If I have a page that links to one or more subcategory pages, is there an SEO benefit to using the parent page feature in WordPress for this? Well, okay. Remember, if you're using a complex silo structure, that's how you create subcategory pages, right? So think about that, Sam. If you're using a complex silo structure where you have top level category, which is also a page, which is a parent page. Then you have subcategories, which are also pages, but those are child pages, which means you have to select the parent page in the right-hand sidebar of the page, WYSIWYG editor type thing. You select the parent page, and then posts are obviously posts. Those go into either categories or subcategories, right? And so that's the hierarchy of how you use a complex silo structure. So if you're doing complex silo structure, yes, you would assign a parent page, whether you're using physical silos or virtual silos. And all that means, guys, in case anybody's confused about that, is whether you're showing the silo structure in the URL. That is determined by your permalink settings in WordPress. If you're using permalink, the post name settings, then that's a virtual silo because the hierarchy is not displayed in the URL. It's only showing the post or page slug. So it's rootdomain.com/post or page slug, right? So that's the post name permalink structure. If you're using category post name permalink structure, that will show physical silo structure, right? So that'll show the hierarchy in the actual URL. I've always preferred it that way. To me, it's more logical. that way. However, it makes no difference as far as SEO. I've tested it both ways in the virtual silo. In fact, I would even probably suggest or recommend going with the virtual silo method, because you can run into some funny slug or URL things that happen when trying to do the complex silo structure and using the category post name permalink. If that makes sense. So Sam, just because I don't want you to be confused here, if you're doing a complex silo, then you have to use the parent page, assign a parent page from subcategories, which will be pages. Okay. If you're using a simple silo structure, then no, because typically you wouldn't, you know, usually you're just going to have categories and in post. So there wouldn't be a need for a subcategory. Okay. If you have subcategories, it's typically because you're using a complex silo structure. So hopefully that answers the question. If it doesn't, Sam, try to repost it with a little bit more detail. Okay.
I've also added links to our videos for complex silo and simple silo structures.
Perfect. And those videos are old and they still apply. There's nothing changed about that. John, what's up, John? He says, hi, I listen to your Hump Day Hangouts every week. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. He says, +1 for you guys. I would like to know when you plan to release your new course, Local GMB Pro. Thanks. Oh, awesome, John. Yeah, that's next month. We're definitely going to be launching that in May. There's no question. That's coming out in May. I mean, I should be done with my part of it within the next week or so, other than, you know, coming in and updating to show like the incredible results that I'm expecting to get now. Other than that, like mostly, like, again, it's just a process. Once you learn it, like we're talking about even providing a done for you GMB Pro service. It's something we're seriously considering building out a team for that. So nobody out there will have that except us, at least initially. Then we'll have a bunch of people come copy us as usual. Right? Adrian Harper says, hey guys, I have a question regarding Web 2s. I recently bought 50 Tumblr accounts from a gig on Fiverr, but they didn't come as separate accounts. Ooh, there was a main account and several accounts under that, which isn't really good. And I don't think for linking to a money site to boost rankings, is there a way to separate these accounts so they don't immediately get banned? Also, somewhere read that you were able to log into numerous Tumblr accounts to add content and personas using Browseo and didn't need any proxies. Is this correct? Thanks, guys, and keep up the good work, Adrian. Okay, Adrian, I'm not 100% sure about the process for transferring an account in Tumblr, like a blog from one Tumblr account to another. It's probably possible. I would just contact Tumblr support to ask them. Like, just pitch it, you know, when you ask them as if you were, you know, transferring the blog to somebody else, and just say, like, you know, what's the process for doing that? Is that possible? Find out if that's possible, because, yeah, I agree with you. If you buy 50 expired Tumblrs and they're all under one account, that's, to me, is useless. Like, you might be able to get some out of it, but the problem is if one of your sites gets terminated or banned, it could likely pass to that entire account and you lose everything. I don't know that for sure, guys, because I don't typically set up my accounts that way, but I would assume that that one profile could get banned, which would kill all of the blogs under that profile. I don't know if they keep it separate or not, if Tumblr does. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I would assume that you're right. Like, if you think, like, when in doubt, just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't gone that far as to create several sub accounts within the same Tumblr account. But as you know, if in doubt, just, you know, just in case, don't do it. Yeah.
I mean, I've created 3 or 4 blogs under one profile, but I've never, like, and it's typically that's only because they're in different industries type stuff. So I'm using them for different purposes. But, you know, yeah, if you're basically like trying to use several Tumblr accounts as like basically a Web 2 PBN or something to link to your money sites, I would not have them all coming from the same account, number one. Okay. As far as Tumblr accounts and Browseo, yeah, guys, the thing about using proxies for Browseo, like for creating accounts and stuff like that, guys, that is no longer such an issue. It used to be a few years ago where you didn't want to create a bunch of accounts from the same. And no longer the case because of public Wi-Fi has just basically, it's blanketed everywhere. You know what I mean? So there are always dozens, hundreds, even thousands of people on the same IP. Think about it. And so all logged into the same type of accounts, and it doesn't flag everybody's account because it's the same IP. So it's no longer an IP issue, as it not like it used to be anyways. Why it's important, why you can do that with Browseo. Here's the thing. If you were to go clear Firefox through the normal you know, clear cache and cookies process and run CCleaner and do all that stuff, and then log into an account with a fresh browser, like virgin white fresh, you know, browser, that looks unnatural. So if you do that and then you log back out, clean your cache and cookies, and then log back in through the same IP to another account with a fresh browser, and you do that a couple of times, you can absolutely flag your IP for that kind of activity, for spammy activity, which could cause accounts to be terminated or to be require re-verification, all that kind of stuff, because you're sending a lot of unnatural signals to that platform that you keep logging into with the fresh browser under new accounts. Does that make sense? However, if you've got Browseo or any tool that does that, I think another one is called Ghost Browser or something like that. Whatever tool you have or app that will do that for you, you can still log in underneath the same IP, but each browsing session keeps its history. So there's cookies that are accrued, and there's, you know, history as to what sites have been visited, and you know, what searches have been done, and that what links have been clicked on, that kind of stuff. And so those kind of histories and those cookies that accrue start to build up a profile. Even if it's under the same IP, it doesn't matter, because each IP or each profile is going to have a slightly different history. And that looks natural because people do that, but people don't. Typically, people don't clear their browser every time they log in. And think about a public Wi-Fi. Not 15 people in any public Wi-Fi spot are going to clear all their cache and cookies and then log into their account from that same IP. Does that make sense? So, but there could be 15 people logged into Tumblr from the same IP because they're all different accounts. So my point is just acting more natural is the way to do it, even if it's from the same IP. And that's why, like, I use Browseo all the time, but I have some select accounts that are assigned to dedicated proxies that I still use today because they've been set up and they've accrued browsing history over the last 2 years now, really. But all my new accounts that I set up in Browseo, they all just run right through my IP, guys. I don't care about the IP problem anymore because I'm building up profiles that have their own history and their own search habits and their own, you know, likes and themes and all of that stuff. And it's all done through my same IP, which is okay, in my opinion. I've never had any problems with it. Does anybody have anything to say differently about that?
No, not about that, but I do as far as the original question. And you should be able to transfer the different accounts of the different blogs. You'd have to go into Tumblr and create the new account that you're going to transfer to, and then you send an email from the blog that you're looking to transfer to that new account to join, right, to that email to join your blog. And then you can make that person an admin, and then you can eliminate yourself from it. I'm pretty sure, Google it, because I'm sure that somewhere in YouTube and somewhere in Google, it will be explained exactly how it's done. But the gist of it, if I remember it correctly, that's how it's done. I did it before with some stuff that I got crossed up. I added about 5 different blogs, and that's how I did it. I just started a new one and figured out how to transfer the ownership. But you don't really transfer ownership. You make someone an admin, and then you eliminate yourself from that. And by doing that, it makes that new blog or that new Tumblr account the administrator.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just go to YouTube and search. I guarantee you'll find it. Or go to Google and search the videos tab, because that has a much better search functionality than YouTube does. So, okay, Pete, what's up, buddy? He says, hey guys, when you are talking to a potential new client, do you put in the proposal a one-off onboarding or setup fee? If so, how do you explain what the fee is for, and why do you charge the fee? Thanks in advance. It depends on what I'm doing, Pete. But yeah, there's usually setup fees involved. It depends on each one of the services. So, for example, like for Google My Business or Maps SEO, you know, I always charge a Maps optimization or Maps setup and optimization fee, right? And I charge $6.97, I believe, for that, which includes the GMB setup and optimization. If it's not already set up, then I set it up. Typically, it's set up, and I've just got to optimize it. Bing and then Yahoo. In fact, I really even kind of took Yahoo out of it to where I'm really just now doing Bing and GMB for the same price, right? $6.97. That's what I charge. But then my local monthly SEO charges for any the lowest I will charge for local maps is $500 a month for maintaining. So like I'll charge $697 setup and $500 a month. If I got somebody with 2 locations, a lot of the times I'll charge them $400 per location per month. So it's $800 for 2. That's just kind of how I do stuff. Like I don't charge as much as a lot of the other people do for my services. But when it comes to setup fees, it just depends on what it is. Like, for example, I also do reputation marketing stuff now because it's just so stupid easy to fulfill, right? The app does all the work. All you got to do is sell it. And so like I'll charge somebody like $99 as a setup fee because it takes me or a VA about 20 minutes to input data into the system, and that's it. And so I make $100 on a setup fee, and then I'll charge, maybe $200 a month or something like that on just the reputation stuff. But I typically try to roll all of that into a larger SEO package anyways. Okay. But yeah, I mean, guys, I'm always transparent about my charges to my clients. Like I tell them exactly what everything is for. Like I don't ever try to inflate prices here and there to kind of hide stuff. I just flat out tell them what it is. And I explain why that I'm charging for that and why it's necessary. And again, like I said, the way that I present my services to my clients, it's in a very transparent way so that I honestly feel like I earned their trust by just explaining everything in such detail, if that makes sense. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. You guys have any additional input on that?
Yeah, real quick, I do the same that you do, Bradley, in terms of I tell them, hey, this is what is going to charge, like what I'm going to charge. And then these are the tools that I'm going to use. And this is the final, like the tally, if you want. But yeah, I definitely break that down for the clients. And I'm completely 100% transparent, as you were saying as well.
Marco?
No, I totally agree. You have to be transparent. But then again, if you position yourself correctly, you should also raise your prices accordingly. I mean, your market, your local market, Bradley, and you know what it is. I would never charge the same thing to someone, let's say in an area like where you are, like let's say in Georgetown, right? For example, where I know, I mean, that the money is just way different. A Beverly Hills dentist, I'm gonna hit him over the head as opposed to just a local dentist that's just trying to get people in the door, right? So that he can then sell them on whatever services it is that he has. So you have to know if you know your market and you position yourself accordingly, then you usually could charge a little bit more, but definitely transparent as far as the tools, as far as using, you have to pay your staff. You have expenses also.
Yeah.
And if you're transparent with all of that, then you should be okay. I mean, markup, you have to charge what you feel you're worth. That's how I think. You have to charge for your services, and if you're that good, then you should charge for that. You should charge a premium. Most other businesses and most other experts do.
I agree. Okay. D is up. Hey guys, a few days ago, my Gmail account got suspended. It was my persona account for one of my affiliate sites, and the account was around 9 months old. I had a branded ifttt network and drive stack attached to this account. I need the words of wisdom from you guys on this issue. Before that, I want to tell you a few things. I had content in the drive files without attribution, and all of these documents were created a few months back. Okay, so if it was like straight up copied content from somewhere without attribution, well, that typically hasn't created a problem, but Marco can comment on that.
No, that's never been a problem.
Yeah, it's never been a problem.
No, we're still doing it the same way. Not a problem.
He says, a few days ago, I created a new G site for link building, and I framed a few of my Google Docs and spreadsheets, and I went to Fiverr and ordered 2 contextual backlinks packages with one 5,000 links and with one 2,000 links to my new G site. Again, although I never recommend buying backlinks packages from Fiverr because those templates are used over and over and over again, so it's definitely a footprint thing. Well, I'm sure there's some providers there that are decent, but I just don't recommend it. But I don't think that's the problem either, the backlinks to your G site. Marco, do you feel differently?
I've never seen this kind of behavior before, and we've thrown the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
at DriveStacks, it may have been that he linked directly to the G site, but we've done that also. So like this isn't in the right context for me to be able to see. Did we do the DriveStack? If so, then I can reach out and see what was done. I mean, but if it's someone else's DriveStack, I can't say because I don't know what type of garbage they did. If you did it yourself, did you follow our training, or whose training did you follow? I mean, there's so many things that are possible here that I could go on and on and on, and we'd never get to an answer.
Yeah, and one question I would have was, and I'm not doubting that it truly is suspended, but I'm just throwing this out there for everybody's benefit. There's been times where I've had like blogger accounts, for example, specifically from syndication networks, where like a blogger account says it's been suspended for violations of terms of service or whatever. And all it was it was showing the blogger blog as being suspended, but all it was the Gmail account associated with that blogger blog had to be re-verified and through phone verification. And after re-verifying the account, which sometimes is difficult, the blogger blog, all of a sudden the suspension is lifted and it's back live again on the web as soon as you verify the account. So all I'm saying, the reason why I bring that up is because, is it indeed a suspension, which I'm pretty sure that you've already confirmed that, or is it just that you have to re-verify the account? You might want to look into that first if you haven't already, is my point. Okay. But yeah, I don't know, because I haven't run into that problem. Like, I haven't had too many Google accounts suspended. I have from spamming like Google Plus with automated, like, in an automated way, or like with social sharing, like some of those apps where you can share other people's content and they share content for you. I've done that in the past, and I've had some just, stuff that absolutely violates terms of service posted, like, pharma stuff, Viagra pill stuff, things like that have had my account suspended. But as far as like just creating a G site and doing like DriveStack stuff, embedding files, even spamming it to death, I've never had any issues with that. Not even one. Not one site has ever been suspended for that. So I can't really speak as to what the problem is if I've never seen it personally. Unfortunately, sorry.
The only thing I've ever seen go wrong and get us a suspension is when we ran the script and it was pulling in too many files, which is just too many Google resources that you're using up for free. And then that will get your G site terminated. It'll get the G site suspended, and you won't. It's really hard to recover it. But the DriveStack was still intact, so it's just a matter of slowing down the script and the way that it runs, and then just redoing a G site and just doing it all over again. But
yeah.
Not the Gmail account. This is what's surprising. The Gmail account getting suspended, not from a DriveStack. I don't know. Yeah, it may have triggered a re-verification, like you said.
That's what I would think it would be. Is it more? I mean, because honestly, that's typically the only thing that happens is that an account gets locked for re-verification, and all of the sub accounts or tools, the apps that Google allows you to have with an account, they all get basically temporarily suspended until you can re-verify. And sometimes it's impossible to re-verify. I've lost stuff because of it. But other times I've been able to re-verify and everything comes back. So that's what I'm assuming it may be, without more detail. All right, Nigel's up. Nigel just recently joined the mastermind after coming here for months and asking many questions and taking action. Woo! He got himself to a position where he could join the mastermind. It's freaking fabulous. Oh. Nigel, you and Muhammad back to back. Look at that. That's awesome, because both of you have taken very similar paths in that you've come here and asked a bunch of questions every single week, and you've applied, taken action on what you've learned, and it's propelled you to the point that you could come join the mastermind, which will help you to grow your businesses even faster. So both of you, I'm proud of both of you, seriously. I've said that to you, Muhammad, but not so much to you, Nigel. And we certainly appreciate you joining the mastermind. We will be there to help you in any way we can. Okay. Newly minted MM status, and it feels great. Thank you for the warm welcome. Truly been awesome so far, and looking forward to posting results soon. We're looking forward to you posting them. That video email, nice. I got my money's worth for this month already. So you must have picked video lead gen system as the bonus or whatever. That's awesome. And just keep in mind, guys, that as part of the prospecting module, We're going to flesh that out a hell of a lot more, and we're going to end up updating that product and then launching that with a proper launch. So I think, Hernan, you might want to get this ready, but I think we still have the pre-sale for video lead gen system available. If it's still available, people can still get in now. When we go to launch it, once it's relaunched with all the new training that's going to be added, it's going to be at least $500. So
yeah, I'm going to actually search for it. And let me confirm that with you, Bradley.
I think it's vlgs.semanticmastery.com, I think. But anyways,
yeah, I want to make sure that it's still open on the back end. Okay, if that makes sense. So,
anyways,
can I just add for a second? We're giving you like tons of notice that we're going to raise the price. We always give you tons of notice that we're going to raise the price. Please don't come back in a month, 2 months, or 3 months, or however long, and say you raised the price. Now I can't buy it at the launch price. The launch price is what it is. The pre-launch price is what it is, and then it goes up to the price where we establish. Why do we do that? Because we want you, people who follow us, people who are members, we want you to have first crack at it at a price where it's comfortable. But it's worth so much more than what we charge that we just can't give it away for free. Sorry. It takes too much time, too much effort. It takes too much work to put all this stuff together, and we can't give it away. It's worth what it's worth. It's going up to where it's going. You're warned that it's happening. I mean, emails are sent out. We do it on Hump Day Hangouts. We do it everywhere. We give people ample notice. Please don't come back and complain that the price has been raised when you already know that the price is going to be raised.
Yep.
I just posted on the event page, so you better you said that's it, while it lasts, because I don't know, somebody could find out and we might close it. So
yeah, that's true. Like I said, we're going to be launching that in April, May, June, I believe. Yeah, I believe we talked about that this week, guys, didn't we? I think we're going to relaunch that in June. So, all right. Anyways, back to Nigel's question, where can I find a document on basic metadata and tag configuration without going too far down the rabbit hole? Basically, I want a clear and easy way to provide some value to prospects that I audit. I had a prospects report come back with metadata and tag issues, and I would have loved to offer some generic DIY info for free, like put this kind of information in here without going all Jeffrey Smith SEO bootcamp on them. Any direction you can provide a solid guide template would be invaluable. All right, so my only concern with that, Nigel, is remember who your audience is, right? So when you're talking to a prospect in a video audit and you are explaining to them something that they could do that could have a positive impact on their digital presence, you want something that's incredibly easy for them to do that doesn't require a ton of explanation. And so I know that's basically what you're asking. How could I have provided some information about metadata and tags that wouldn't confuse them? And that's kind of difficult to do, especially in a video audit. Now, you could try it with, like, if I were to try to create an example for that, I'm sure I could figure out a way to dumb it down quite a bit, but I might do something like talk about how tags are supposed to be, kind of descriptive terms about the topic of the post, and then there's like a hierarchy and stuff. But remember, you don't want to overwhelm them with technical stuff because their eyes will glaze over and it's like you're speaking a foreign language to them, right? And so, again, you don't want to get too technical. A lot of the times, the kind of advice or suggestion that I will give in an audit will be something very simple, like, hey, you don't have your name, address, and phone number listed on your website. That's something that is incredibly powerful for helping you to rank in maps. So I would recommend that you put a widget in your site, or have your webmaster put a widget in the footer or in the sidebar that lists your name, address, and phone number. Stuff like that. Something that's very simple, that doesn't take a lot of explanation, but they could easily do, that's going to literally help them, give them an improvement, right? Like, it's going to improve their presence slightly, even if not much. You could give them a tip on, optimizing Yelp, or all I'm saying is, like, you could give them a tip on optimizing their GMB listing. Say, hey, I'm looking at your Google My Business listing, and it looks like you only have you know, your logo and nothing else. You might want to add some optimized images. And here's a trick. Name the file names of the images after products and services that you provide. Include local modifiers, your city name, you know, areas that you service, things like that. Very, very easy stuff that they can do. As far as tags and metadata, that's a bit too technical, in my opinion, to try to explain that to a layman or civilian, so to speak. Do you guys have any other suggestions on that?
No, I totally agree with you. If you start talking about title tags and metadata, you're going to have to show SERPs to show the purpose that they serve. And then that might get the talk into, well, am I going to get those kinds of results? Am I going to get those rankings? Am I going to rank for these keywords? And what keywords am I going to? And you don't want the conversation going that way. Then the conversation is going all wrong, because you want the conversation to be all about the leads or the results that you're going to get for the person. I mean, you could do it in a video if the person is technical enough, but that's not a conversation that you want to have with someone that you're just taking on as a client. I mean, if you want to do that, let's say later on as an add-on or whatever, we're going to improve your ad copy, for example. You could say that. You could compare it to classifieds, where you want to stand out from the bunch, and how you can make it stand out. You never want to put the client in a position where they have to kind of try to figure out how they're going to do it, because then it's all over. You know, their eyes will, like Bradley said, they'll roll into the back of their head,
Yep.
and they'll start singing show tunes, and you can forget it.
That's it. Number 2, he says, a saw SERP space has levels of citations, foundation, hometown, and multimedia in terms of marketing to clients. Is that like month 1, 2, 3 strategy? And does dripping citation building actually matter, or just better to spread things out? Well, what I do is, like, you know, part of my monthly SEO services includes citation building, but that doesn't mean that I'm building citations every month. I mean, most of the time I do, or a lot of the times for my clients now, because it's just so much easier, is I'm not going to lie, for most of my clients, I use Loganix services, the monthly citation building. I don't even like, and that's only because that service is great and it's 100% managed. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is input data once, and they build citations every month, and they do a mix of structured citations and unstructured citations. What's the difference? A structured citation is a classical business directory listing, name, address, phone number, sometimes a link back to the site, but it's a business directory listing. An unstructured citation is a mention of NAP, right? Name, address, phone number, but on non-traditional business sites, like non-traditional directory sites. In other words, social medias, blogs, press releases, all of those video sites, document sharing sites, audio sites, image sharing sites, all of those types of sites become or what they call unstructured citations. And so the Loganix monthly citation service is $150. Semanticmastery.com/Loganix, I believe, will take you over there. It's a good service. I like it because it's 100% outsourced. So, but for some of my clients that are like grandfathered into a much lower monthly price, I'm not going to cough up $150 to pay Loganix to do it. So what I'll do is, you know, obviously, I'll do like a package from SERPspace. I'll do like the foundations, which are basically like all the big directories, and then I'll get the local citations on top of that. Then I'll do the multimedia or the social type citations like another month. And it doesn't have to be month 1, month 2, month 3. If it's a newer site that you're trying to get them results, then that might be a good strategy. If it's a site that's already doing well, like as far as ranking and maps, then I don't always do that. Like I might build a batch of citations and then wait 3 months before I build another batch of citations. Because here's the thing, guys. Also, like, I don't know what reporting your software or app you're using for that, but I use BrightLocal. BrightLocal is a fabulous service. Again, semanticmastery.com/BrightLocal, I think will take you over there. I've been using it since 2012 when I opened my agency, and that's what I use for all my reporting. And what I like about BrightLocal is it will do citation tracking. So it'll show you how many citations, and it will keep a history of all that. So you can see the graph over time going up as far as the number of citations accrued. And so what I found is doing a batch of citations. Let's say I order 50 new citations to be built. It doesn't matter what type of citation, structured, unstructured, foundation, social. It doesn't really matter. Hyperlocal, any of those doesn't matter, because what happens is I'll get the report back, and I'll submit all those URLs for indexing, which apparently most indexers aren't working now anyways. And it takes 3 months for all of them to end up, and not all of them end up get out of 50. I might only have 35 of them that end up getting indexed over the course of 3 months. So my point is, you don't have to build every single month, because you can build today, and 3 months from now, Google will just start finding some of those citations, if that makes sense. One of the things I highly recommend is that you do local data aggregator submissions, you know, like the big data aggregator submissions, which is Factual, Axiom, Info USA, or Express Update, I think it's called, which is part of Info USA, and in New Star Local Ease. And there's a couple services that will do that. One of the things I like about Bright Local is Bright Local has that for $55, and you have to you have to redo it every year, but it's $55, and they'll submit to all 4 data aggregators. And what's great about that is within 3 to 6 months, like, you'll start seeing a bunch of new citations pop up just because your data is listed in the aggregators, right? And so again, I like to use Bright Local for that, because it's $55 and they submit to all 4 submission data aggregators for me. Okay. So again, my citation building method really just varies for all new clients that I've signed up within the last probably year and a half, maybe 2 years now. Because my pricing is higher than it was for some of my grandfather clients. They all just get put on the Loganix service, because again, it's something that it's out of sight, out of mind. I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's done. I know every single month they're getting a mix of structured and unstructured citations, and then backlinks are being built to those citations. So it's just done for me. It's something I don't have to manage anymore. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, Mohammed's up. He says, hey, guys, what's up, Mohammed? When I first started video emails, I bungled a lot of leads by not calling them and getting a conversation going. How would I get back in touch with the ones that at least watched my video? I was going to call them, but given that my emails were months ago, they may be lost. Do I send them the same email again? No, here's what I would do, Mohammed, and I've done this before. Create a generic video that is talking to all of them. So that way you're still getting that personalized effect, but you don't have to record, you don't have to send them the same video that they've already seen, and you don't have to send a personalized video for each and every person that you're recontacting, right? So just record a video with you looking into the camera or whatever, or if you're doing a screencast plus, you know, picture in picture or whatever, however you want to do it, just record a short video. Hey, I sent you an email, a video email a few months ago. Right? So don't say their names, don't say their business. You're in the same, in a specific vertical. So, hey, I sent you a video about your real estate business or whatever a couple of months ago. And I'm just reaching back out to try to start this conversation or start a dialogue with you again, see if you'd be interested in having a conversation about what I sent you. If you're curious about, if you didn't see the video before, you'd like to see it again, just hit reply to this and I'll send you the link again. Does that make sense? So that way you've got one generic video that now you can literally mass email out to everybody that engaged with your first video, and in those people that re-engage with your new email, they might hit reply back and ask you to send them, oh yeah, I forgot about that, can you send it to me again? Anyways, it just gets the conversation started. So that's what I would do, because it would save you a ton of time. Just do one generic video and then blast it out to everybody that that engaged you the first time but you didn't follow up with correctly, and just try to get some engagement out of that, like, you know, recontacting them again. Okay. Okay. Quit this house. He says, hey guys, thanks for all the info, all you do to help us. You're welcome. Everyone talks about building a list. What email marketing program do you recommend? Well, I'm using drip.com, which is the autoresponder from Lead Pages. I've never been a fan of Lead Pages, but their autoresponder is freaking fabulous. Drip is great. At least it is for me. I'm building out my entire prospecting funnel and all the automations. Well, about 80% of the automations are handled inside of Drip right now, and it's it inboxes into the primary tab in Gmail, which is insane because most of the other autoresponders go to the promotions tab in Gmail. So that was the primary reason I started using Drip, was just because it goes to the primary inbox in Gmail. But since then, I've started to learn how to use Drip, because I've never been an email marketing guy, but I'm using it now, and all the automations, they're called workflows inside of Drip, and it's fabulous. The amount of stuff that you can automate is just insane. So that's what we've been working on, is an automated prospecting funnel, and we're going to be building out an automated onboarding and fulfillment funnel too. So,
yep. If I can add to that, we use ActiveCampaign for semantic mastery. I use ActiveCampaign a lot, but it was like a wash between the two, right? Between Drip and ActiveCampaign, because the main point is that you can automate a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the main point. And they're way more powerful than just that any other kind of autoresponder. In fact, like you get all of that functionality only by going through Infusionsoft, which is like $500 a month or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, we use either Drip or ActiveCampaign. Those are the go-to solutions.
Yep. Totally agree. And I'm super impressed with it. In fact, I was talking on the mastermind webinar last week about the prospecting funnel. I've actually like shit canned it, scratched it, and started over 3 times from scratch now. Because it's just so complicated. Like it's just a really complex build. But part of the reason it was overcomplicated the first couple of times is because I was trying to patch together a whole bunch of different apps and services to handle all the automations, because I didn't realize, again, I'm not an email marketing guy. It's not something I've typically done in my career. So I was unaware of how much could actually be done within the Drip platform. And so after, wasting literally weeks and dozens of hours on building out this funnel and it not working, or even being too complex for even me to be able to maintain it, that's when I said, okay, look, I'm just going to spend a couple days researching Drip and trying to figure out how to use this. And I made more progress in about 3 days that way than I had in 3 weeks prior to, just by starting to put everything that I could in the Drip. And so again, I'm super impressed with it. I'm really happy with it, and I'm still learning. So inside the mastermind, we're covering all that stuff too, guys. So I don't know if you're not in there yet, come join us, because all that's going to be like, I'm literally going to be giving all our mastermind members the blueprint and step-by-step process instructions for how to build their own prospecting automation funnel. I've even impressed myself with it. So just so you know, it's like that. All right, next, he says, when you buy your YouTube channels, how much do you build them out? Cover pic, link, G+ short description, or both, on both G+ profile and YouTube? No, well, it depends on what I'm using them for. If it's like, we buy a ton of YouTube accounts just straight up for YouTube spam, and so I honestly don't build those out at all. If it's for a money channel, then yes, absolutely, because it's about branding, right? So if you're building a money channel, then yeah, you absolutely want to complete the G+ profile. You want to fill out the YouTube channel, the about section, add the links, the interlinking, all that kind of stuff. So it depends on what your intent is with this, with that YouTube channel. If it's for spam purposes, no, don't do anything else. Just buy the damn account. That's it. Like, make sure it's phone verified, and that's it. But if you're doing it for a money project, an affiliate project, a client project, a lead gen, any one of those, then absolutely, try to complete as many of the Google properties as possible and interlink all of them. Okay, that includes Blogger too, guys. Right? Steve, what's up? He says, hi, I heard in passing reference last week to linking with rel equals alternate for SEO purposes. Can you recommend on this? Does it work? What are the best practices? And are there any dangers? Is this equivalent to SameAs markup? Thanks. To be honest, I've never used it. So I'm going to defer to Marco. What can you tell us about it, Marco?
The only time that I've used the rel equals alternate tag is when defining language. I've never used it for SEO. I've always used rel equals canonical. I mean, it's something that I would have to try, but I've never used it that way. And I don't think that Google even recommends for you to use to use rel that way, alternate. I think it would have to be canonical. I haven't read anything on it. I know that Moz had something on it. I know that the Google blog last year, middle of last year, had something on it, but we use canonical because that's where we see the greatest SEO effect.
Yeah. So again, I can't speak on it because I haven't used it at all. We could probably do some research on it.
Yeah, sorry. You could use it for language. You could use it like for mobile, that type of thing. Rel equals alternate. I've never. I mean, I don't see a way where you'd use it for SEO, and it would be real easy to pick out if you started using that for SEO.
Yeah, this is a good blog, guys. The Stone Temple blog. These guys have some really good SEO stuff on here too. And this one was published in 2016, so about 2 years ago, May 2016, by Eric Enge, and he knows what he's talking about. So this might be something you could research. I don't know. Again, I haven't even read this. I just clicked on it just now. But my point is, I know the Stone Temple guys typically do a good job of explaining stuff, so you might be able to use this here. So just go. And all I did, guys, was search rel equals alternate. And just start looking through. Look at the dates, though, right? You don't want to look at something from 2012. It's probably not relevant now. I mean, it may be. You can still look at it, but just judge it based on its freshness factor, too. Okay? All right. We're going to answer just up to Jordan Fowler's question, guys, and then we're going to wrap it up because we're almost out of time. I love how Armand says, "What up with you, yo, booty butt cheeks?" I don't know what that means, but it's funny, so I'm going to +1 it. You guys are the shit. Was wondering if there was a way to use Google Sites for an e-commerce site where the products are set up to create a feed that I could use on Google Shopping ads. That's a good question. I don't know because I don't do any e-com stuff, but that does sound like it would be pretty powerful. Do you have any experience with that, Marco?
Yeah, he'd have to use announcement pages to create a feed out of G Sites. I don't know about the new ones. I haven't tried the new ones out. I'm not sure how to get a feed out of that because they don't have announcement pages in the new G Sites, as far as I know. We can't even run the script on the new G Site. So we're talking about the old one. I've seen it done. I've seen some really wicked stuff being done with G Sites and e-commerce. Rob and I were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, you could totally set it up, use announcement pages, and create the feed.
Yeah. He says the company I work for is in an industry where Google Shopping ads supposedly won't allow our products on, but we see our competitors all the time in there. So I thought this may be a workaround. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't do any e-commerce at all, Armand. I never have. And because of that, I really can't provide any advice, and I apologize for that. But again, you could probably do some searching on it and find some information about it. Obviously, if we come across anything, we'll certainly mention it. And I love the fact that, again, you want to hear me say it again, booty butt cheeks. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. It made me giggle. So, all right, cool. Greg and Scott, what's up, guys? Jordan, he says, okay, my blog page, General Archive, continues to index despite my blocking it in an SEO Ultimate Plus and putting meta name equals robots content no index in that page header. I know this is bleeding my otherwise fastidiously created silos. How bad is this hurting my SEO? Any suggestions on getting it to not index? Okay, just put a no follow tag in the header. That's all you have to do. Because that'll stop the bleeding. Even if it's indexed, it doesn't matter. If you have no follow on it, you're basically telling Google not to follow any of the links, like to pass any page rank, if that's still a thing. I think it is internally in Google. But it doesn't pass any page rank through any of the links on that page. If you add a no follow attribute to the header, that's correct, Marco, right? I didn't tell him wrong, did I?
No, you're correct. And yes, page rank is alive and well inside the algorithm.
Right, I thought so. So Jordan, yeah, that's the easy thing. Whether it indexes or not, you can't. I mean, you can ask Google to honor the no index, but it's up to them. And I've seen stuff indexed that's supposed to be no indexed all the time. But if you put no follow in that same tag, that same HTML tag, then it will. I think it's just rel equals no follow. It will. And I'm not sure. You'd have to double check. But the entire page, any links on that page will be no followed. Like Google, it just knows to not pass page rank to them. Google will still crawl the links, but it just won't pass page rank, so it won't bleed your silos or your theme. Okay. Okay, cool. Looks like we got to most of the questions, guys. We appreciate everybody being here. We don't have any mastermind this week because I'm hard at work trying to finish the prospecting funnel. But
it's gonna be good
next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.